Alright, so let's take a look at some other pitfalls that we may encounter in cartography when we're using transparent area symbols. I'm going to create a complete lesson on how to design legends in Illustrator for your map a little bit later on. Right now I'm just going to create a really quick example of one in order to show you one of our transparency pitfalls. It's certainly the case that if I've got this on my map and it designates that particular color a hazardous area, I would want to include that on the legend. So I'm going to create a box over here and make it black and white to be the basic legend box that I might have. Now I'm going to create another box that's going to contain the color that I want to show, and then I would want to use the swatch to make sure that the color inside of that box that's on the legend is of course the exact color that's on the map. So I'm going to use the swatch here to make that. I'm going to turn off the stroke here briefly so that we've just got that color. So there's the color. Now of course one of our pitfalls was I'm using transparency, so I'm going to have to remember to bump this down to exactly 50% transparent and say alright. And now that looks like I've got the same color here as the same color here and also here and so forth. But let me show you that looks can be deceiving. I'm going to turn off the stroke of that as well. We have the appearance that we've got the same color here and so forth, but actually we don't. Looks can be deceiving. What I'm going to do is align this so that it's completely sitting up there against the edge, and then move this to there. As you can see, once they're up against one another, this color that's in my legend is very different than this color right here. And also, if I were to come down here and move this box up, you will see that this color and that color are very different as well. What I really wanted was just to have a 50% transparency of that particular color red, whatever it was, to denote the hazardous area. But because I'm transparent, this box is sitting on top of white, because this is going to be the legend. This box over here is sitting on top of this color green here, and this color blue here. So as a result, you're seeing the blue and the green through the red, and it's changing the color of my hazardous area symbol, and so it's not matching up to what is inside my legend, and that's going to be a major problem. There are a couple of different ways that this could be fixed, and it's attention to detail like that, I'll say again, that's very important. There are a couple of ways that this could be fixed. One thing that you could do is make a duplicate of your little box over here in the legend, and then use the color swatch to make sure that it is the base color of the land. Going to bring that color in front, set it there, and now, boy, doesn't that look nasty? It looks like it's, why in the world would I use that as a hazard color? But let me show you. That actually it is. That color that's in the legend is actually the exact same color that that land is. It looks different because of the surrounding colors and so forth. But if you zoom in here, what you will find is that there's no distinction between that color and that color. That is actually the color that I'm using for the hazardous land. Let me zoom back out. I can do the same thing. You probably got the point, but let me do the same thing with the water. Here we go. That one right there needs to be the color of the base color of my water. I'm going to use the swatch to make sure I've got it exactly, and then put that one back on top. Go ahead and group it together. So now you will be able to see that that right there is the color of the land, and that right there is the color of the hazardous water. This is not a great thing to do. Now my legend would be accurate. I could come over here and line these up, and then I could write in my legend hazardous land, and in this color hazardous water. But they do look pretty nasty, like I said, when you're up against that white. And it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. If I just wanted to have hazardous area, I'd really want that just to be one symbol on my map. I don't want it to be two different symbols and two particularly nasty looking colors. Unfortunately, this is one of the problems with working with transparencies. If you do have a transparent overlay on top of something that's always on top of the same color, and it produces a nice looking color, then probably it's no problem at all just to do exactly what I did right here when I'm creating this little box for the legend of that color, and just say that this color with that background is the hazardous area. If it's always on top of that color and it looks nice, no one will ever know the difference. But in this kind of situation, I can have this transparent hazardous area on top of all different kinds of different colors, and I don't want to have all different kinds of colors inside my legend. That would be getting way too busy. I want to keep things simple in order to communicate the information that I want to communicate. And so I'm probably going to use some other type of symbol rather than just making it transparent. So next thing we'll do is we'll look at a couple of other kinds of area symbols that we could use to fix this problem that we're having.